Let's bring you some breaking news, and within the last few minutes, police in Nottingham have admitted they should have done more to arrest a wanted man who went on to stab 3 people to death in the city in June. An arrest warrant was issued for Valdo Calocane in September 2022 on suspicion of assaulting a police officer, but he was never arrested and went on to kill Ian Coates, Barnaby Webber and Grace O'Malley Kumar in June. Our correspondent Becky Cottrell has been all over this story, of course, in recent months and days. Joins us now from Nottingham. Becky, what is the real detail in this statement from the police?
Well, what is interesting about this statement is it shows potentially another institutional failing, an authority, the police, who had the potential to stop Valdo Calocane from being on the streets. Now, I'll read you some of what the police say about that. They do not believe that actions they may have taken at the time could have put him away. But it is interesting to hear that, as you mentioned, he assaulted a police officer in September 2021. That assault resulted in him being summoned to court. He was meant to appear a year later in September 2022. He did not appear in court and an arrest warrant was issued. He wasn't arrested and then goes on to commit these killings in June 2023. So I think that's 9 months where this arrest warrant was out and Valdo Calocane was not caught by the police. Now, let me read you some of the statement from the police that I think is particularly interesting. So this is from Assistant Chief Constable Rob Griffin. He says, "I have personally reviewed this matter and we should have done more to arrest him. However, because of the circumstance prevailing at the time of the alleged assault, in my opinion, it is highly unlikely that he would have received a custodial sentence. Of course, an arrest might have triggered a route back into mental health services, but as we have seen from his previous encounters with those services, it seems unlikely that he would have engaged in this process." And that is a new statement that has just been issued to Sky News. What he's referring to there when he talks about Calocane being unlikely to engage with mental health services, we know that he had been in and out of hospital for his paranoid schizophrenia. He'd been prescribed medication and he wasn't taking that. But obviously questions for not just the NHS services that were releasing him back into the community, despite these signs that his condition wasn't under control, that he wasn't taking his medication, but also for the police who knew about a history of assaults, but clearly didn't pursue that arrest warrant that was out. And Valdo Calocane was able to go on and commit these horrific crimes. Now, today in court, we are hearing more about his psychological state at the time. 4 psychiatrists have evaluated him, 2 for the prosecution, 2 for the defence. They all agree that he was suffering from acute psychosis at the time, namely paranoid schizophrenia. And it will be for the judge now to decide what that means for the sentence that he imposes. The prosecution today saying that the judge could grant a whole life term. Valdo Calocane is already in a secure psychiatric facility. It feels that a hospital order could be very likely for him. The families are here today again at court. They were giving impact statements yesterday to talk about their devastation. It was extremely emotionally charged. I don't think today is going to be any easier for them to listen to.